Right friends, welcome back to Insight. From 25th April to 1st May for 17th week, we are going to discuss on three items. One is under liberalized remittance scheme, Indians can remit up to $250,000 per annum per person abroad. We are going to discuss about what is meant by liberalized remittance scheme. Second important aspect is states raised around 99,000 crores of rupees through Uday bonds in 2015-16. We have deliberated in detail about Uday during news analysis some time back. Now we are going to discuss what exactly this bonds of rupees 99,000 crores raised by states. Delhi and Karnataka banned surge pricing of cab services. We are going to discuss about surge pricing or dynamic pricing. Right friends, look at the first event. Under liberalized remittance scheme, Indians can remit up to $250,000 per annum per person abroad. And this liberalized remittance scheme was introduced in 2004, and banks which are authorized to deal in foreign exchange, through these banks we can send up to $250,000 per annum. And please don't forget, the banks which are authorized to deal in foreign exchange are known as authorized dealer banks. Don't forget, the banks which are authorized to deal in demat accounts are known as depository participants. This terminology don't forget. The banks which are authorized to open demat accounts are known as depository participant banks. Similarly, the banks which deal in foreign exchange are known as authorized dealer banks. And here, through authorized dealer banks, we can send money abroad. And for the resident Indians are the Indians who stay at least 6 months in this country, that is 182 days. So resident Indians or each resident Indian is eligible to send up to $250,000 per annum, right? And they can remit this money for either current account or capital account. You may ask, what is capital account? Capital account is acquisition of assets. So capital account pertains to acquisition of assets like purchasing shares in any company, purchasing any house, like that. So for any current account or capital account transaction, persons are eligible to send up to the limit prescribed by Reserve Bank of India. And don't forget, this limit at present is $250,000, but it was previously $125,000 in May 2015, and RBI raised this limit to $250,000. And RBI sometimes imposes restrictions on this depending on the foreign exchange reserve position of this country. Not only that, depending on the capital flows to the country, Reserve Bank of India will take decision whether to increase or decrease this limit. And you may ask a pertinent question. We have seen several names in the list of Panama leaks. In Panama Papers, several Indians' names are included, and if you ask a straight question whether they are legal or illegal, you cannot straight away answer that question because of the reason up to $250,000 are allowed for remittance abroad. So therefore, it is not straight away possible to answer the question whether the names of the persons figured in Panama leaks are legal or illegal. And we have deliberated about Panama leaks some time back. Please refer to that news analysis if you want more about it. Right friends, look at the next issue. States raised around rupees 99,000 crore through Uday bonds in 2015-16. You may ask, what is Uday? Uday is nothing but it is taking over debt of the power distribution companies. Power distribution companies are in problems due to several reasons. These are popularly known as the Discoms. And because of the poor health of power distribution companies, the operational and financial efficiencies suffered badly, and because of this reason, central government in November 2015 announced the scheme of Uday. Uday is Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana. The main purpose is to improve the operational and financial health of Discoms. and the cumulative debt of Discoms stands at rupees 4.37 lakh crores. And if you look at the important states, Rajasthan's total loans of Discoms from banks or financial institutions stands at around 72,000 crores of rupees. Tamil Nadu stands at 66,000 crores of rupees, Uttar Pradesh at 53,000 crores of rupees. So, these are the total loans of Discoms from various banks or financial institutions. With this much quantum of loans, the Discoms are not able to function both operationally and financially in an efficient manner. That's why this program was brought. And if you ask what is the present scenario of Discoms across the country before the launch of this program, accumulated losses of all the Discoms rupees 3.8 lakh crore and accumulated debt of approximately 4.3 lakh crores of rupees, and aggregate technical and commercial losses popularly known as AT&C losses are at 22%. And power distribution companies are unable to supply reliable power at affordable prices as they are financially overstretched. And at the same time, at several places metering was not there and defective meters are there, and because of these problems Discoms are functioning with inefficiency, right? And free or subsidized electricity for agriculture households compounded this problem altogether. Government has to take over 75% of the debt of Discoms in 2 years, and they have to issue bonds. That means the state governments, after taking over the debt of Discoms, has to issue bonds, and central government will support state governments for this act, right? And under this Uday scheme, 8 states have issued bonds worth over 98,000 crores of rupees, and the Reserve Bank of India issued the special bonds, and these bonds are non-SLR securities. That means they are not eligible for statutory liquidity ratio mandatory requirements. Statutory liquidity ratio mandatory requirements have to be met through either cash or gold or approved government securities. When the government of India is issuing treasury bills or dated securities, they are eligible as SLR securities, but the nature of these bonds is they are not eligible for SLR securities. That is one important point. And second important point is Reserve Bank of India issued these securities on behalf of state governments under Government Securities Act of 2006. Under Government Securities Act of 2006, state governments can issue these bonds, and Reserve Bank of India will issue on behalf of state governments. That is another important point. So, here these bonds are issued by Reserve Bank of India on behalf of state governments. They are not eligible for SLR securities. Fourth important point is they are eligible for market repo. You may ask, what is repo? Repo is the mechanism where banks can access loans from Reserve Bank of India after pledging the securities, and these securities are eligible for market repo transactions but not as SLR securities, right? And you may ask a fundamental question whether this Uday will be successful or not. We have deliberated in detail in news analysis of 45th week in 2015. Please listen to it, and if you want me to reiterate once again whether Uday will be successful or not, it is possible to some extent, because restructuring of finances and future financial discipline can be ensured to some extent if states have willpower. If states really have willpower, this restructuring of finances and future financial discipline can pull out these Discoms out of distress. That is possible if states have willpower. And second thing is, improving operational efficiencies requires a lot more willpower. In several places metering is not there, several places faulty meters are there, and at several places the theft of power is quite common in rural areas, and states should have willpower so as to improve the organizational efficiency of Discoms. Right. So, all depends on the state government's willpower and a paradigm shift away from populist measures. Right. So, we have discussed few points. In the context, the states issued bonds worth 99,000 crores of rupees. It is a step in the right direction if states have willpower. That is the point finally to note. Delhi and Karnataka banned surge pricing of cab services. You may ask, what is surge pricing? Surge pricing is nothing but when demand is more, at that point of time, abnormal increase in price, that is surge pricing. Sometimes it is known as dynamic pricing also. Surge pricing means when the demand is more, at that particular instant, the pricing mechanism will increase automatically. That means when demand is more, prices will increase. So, this is nothing but surge pricing and also known as dynamic pricing. And now this came into the news because recently app-based taxi aggregators such as Uber and Ola resorted to surge pricing, and Delhi and Karnataka banned surge pricing of taxi aggregators. And this surge price is not manually fixed but determined real-time basis by the algorithms based on demand-supply dynamics for vehicles. If more people are asking for a taxi at the same point of time, then naturally the price will increase. So, it all depends on the demand, and one algorithm will be there, but based on the real time demand, the price will automatically increase, right? And already this dynamic pricing is there in airline sector. If you look at airline sector, if you want to travel from Delhi to Mumbai, if you purchase ticket 1 month before, you will get ticket for rupees 3,000. And if you purchase ticket for tomorrow's journey, you have to pay around 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. That is the dynamic pricing. And recently, Indian Railways also introduced this in premium trains known as Suvidha trains. So, dynamic pricing is not uncommon, but the point here is for regular commuter services, imposing this surge pricing is not in the right perspective. If you look at the common man in India, the dynamic pricing of airline sector and the pricing of Suvidha trains basically cater for rich or above middle class people, but the cabs are used by even common man in metropolitan cities. So, surge pricing by these aggregators is not in the right perspective, and there is a viewpoint which is for the surge pricing, and at the same time there is also a viewpoint against the surge pricing. So, if you look at the surge pricing supporters, the spike in demand can only be met with surge pricing, as it will incentivize drivers, because it will lead to more incentives to drivers. So, drivers will have motivation to do more work. Second is the potential commuters are informed by the app about the surge price well in advance, hence the commuters can have choice to choose the mode of transport. Now, the persons whoever favor surge pricing also say that airlines and some trains have dynamic pricing. So, what is wrong in implementing it for cabs? And at the same time, the opponents of surge pricing says airlines or some premium class of trains like Suvidha trains, where dynamic pricing is introduced, they are catering for rich or above middle class people, and implementing it for day-to-day commuter traffic is not in the right perspective. Then public transport system in several cities is not up to the mark, and under these circumstances, common man is forced to pay abnormally high prices for regular services. It is one sort of exploitation. So, the criticism of this surge pricing by the cab hailing services is more in comparison to the supporters. The debate goes on, and with this we will conclude the insight. So, please do join for other modules. We are discussing about multi-drug resistant TB, SNT, health and environment, and at the same time about Article 356 in a news analysis. Please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.